My parents were disappointed I woke up from my coma. I could see it in their faces the moment they walked into my hospital room. No tears of relief, no rushing to hug me. Just my mother standing by the door with her arms crossed, frowning while my dad scratched his head like he didn't know what to do now that I woke up. To make it worse, I couldn't remember anything. Not the accident, not my childhood, not even my own name until they told me. But something in my gut told me these people weren't happy I was alive. When the doctor finally left, my mother forced a smile. "Let's get you home." And that was it. No, "We missed you so much." Or, "Thank God you're okay." I figured they were just too shocked, maybe too tired of waiting for me to get better. But it ended up being so much worse than that. At home, I wasn't treated like someone recovering from a coma. I was treated like a servant. My mother had me scrubbing floors, and my dad had me clearing leaves from the roof. There was no family time together, nothing but chores. But slowly, fragments of my memory started coming back. Like living in a different house, different room, different nickname. At some point, I brought it up to my parents. "Do you remember what beach we went to a couple years ago?" I asked. My mom's eyes went wide, just for a second, before she smiled. "Oh, honey, those weren't memories. They're just delusions. The doctors warned us it might happen," she said. My dad nodded along. "Your brain is healing. Don't trust everything it tells you." I eventually stopped asking when I realized that every time I remembered something new, they just treated me like I was losing my mind. And honestly, after several days of them telling me my brain was broken, I started believing them. Then one day, I went back to the hospital for a follow-up checkup. I was sitting in the waiting room when someone called out my nickname, the same one my parents told me was just a delusion. I looked up and saw a guy around my age walking toward me with a huge grin. "No way, bro," he said, pulling me into a tight hug. "I can't believe it. You're awake, and you're walking," he laughed, shaking his head while he walked around me, eyeing me from head to toe. He stepped back and called over his wife, explaining to her how we'd been friends back in college before my accident. We talked for a while, catching up on a life I couldn't remember, and then he said something that sent chills down my spine. "Your parents would be so happy right now." I blinked at him. "What do you mean? They see me every day." He raised an eyebrow at me. "You mean they see you every day from heaven, right?" he asked. I shook my head. "No more like at home right now waiting for me to get back kind of every day," I explained. His smile suddenly faded. He reached into his pocket and pulled out his phone, scrolling through years of photos until he found what he was looking for. A funeral program, 2 caskets side by side, a service from 3 years ago. "They died together a few months after you got put into a coma. They drove off a bridge, straight into the water. The police found their bodies still strapped into the chairs, holding hands," he said quietly. "They left everything to the hospital to keep you on life support, hoping you'd wake up one day, and here you are." His eyes started filling with tears. He showed me more photos, him standing at the burial site, flowers everywhere, my real parents' names printed on the headstones. But this only meant one thing. The people at home weren't my parents. They were complete strangers. I drove to the house, anxiously gripping the steering wheel. When I walked through the front door, my mom was sitting in the kitchen, staring at me with a cold, blank expression. "How was your hospital visit? Did you learn anything new?" she asked, testing me. I stared at her for a while before asking, "Who are you?" She paused. "Hey, he knows," she yelled out. My dad walked down the stairs with a shotgun and aimed it at me. "Sorry, son, nothing personal." He shot it just as I ducked down and ran for the door. Mom tried to block my way, but I shoved her to the side and sprinted straight for my car. Just as I started the car, another shot shattered my window. I slammed my foot on the gas and drove straight to the police station. The officers caught them at the state border trying to flee. The interrogation revealed that they'd been posing as my guardians for months, filing paperwork to collect a life insurance payout once I died. When I woke up instead, they weren't sure what to do, until the day I went to the hospital for my checkup. That's the same day they planned to stage another accident, just like they staged my parents' accident.